He was an icon of the Salt Lake City art scene, and nearly 8 months after his death, those who knew closest to him are still figuring out how to best move on without him.
News specialist Alex Cabrero has the story.
On this bustling corner of downtown Salt Lake City, time moves slowly.
This was made circa 1860 in Vienna.
In a place where success is measured in centuries, not in 9-to-5s.
But I think we could get a little more sizzle
As Dan Prieur begins another day
without shrill or harsh sound.
keeping the past alive.
And it should just be ripping your face off with sound and color.
Keeping the memory alive.
My dad's legacy and his work allows me to be where I'm at.
In Germany during World War II, with the Soviet forces advancing, 3-year-old Peter Prieur and his family fled. 15 years later, he arrived in America, a master violin maker, eventually settling here in Salt Lake City. And for the better part of the last century, he went to work, repairing old violins.
This is a Niccolo Galliano, I want to say 1760.
And teaching the future of luthiers.
We were the first violin making school in the United States. And we're the only one west of the Mississippi.
Charles Wolf is a former student of the master.
He eventually ended up opening it just on his own without assistance.
In the school that Peter built,
Something like 90% of our graduates are working in the profession.
Charles is now director.
He had this vision, and it wasn't an easy vision to bring to realization. He did a lot of work to start the school.
So Chung Shu Leong, graduate of the school. He's a Formula One race car driver. If you want someone to make it sound good, have Chung Shu play for you.
Time and distance are forever married.
Sacramento, California, China.
Richmond, Kentucky.
On display perfectly by the students who arrive from all over the world.
And it will turn into very beautiful red varnish.
To learn the German immigrant's technique, a painstaking mirror of skill and will.
It's overwhelming at first, but eventually, as you continue to do things, you become more aware.
Honed by Stradivari himself 4 centuries ago.
So we're very meticulous, very meticulous.
Time here is measured by the stroke of the plane.
Some Utahns are mourning the passing of a violin legend.
And that's why the last few months have felt so long.
Master violin maker Peter Prieur died yesterday. He was 73 years old.
In his last year or two, he had a heart attack and another stroke. And so he was weakening, but he was such an innately strong person. He was a big man. It just seemed like he would go on forever.
Take a moment to consider the pictures on the wall.
For all of us here, I think we all share a similar vision to continue that legacy.
The people trained and sent out into the world because of one man's passion.
You can just see them blossom, and it's just so great to see them go out into the world and be successful.
To spread this art.
When you fly into Salt Lake, you see on the advertisement, welcome to Salt Lake City, you see the Tabernacle Choir, the Salt Lake Temple, and a big violin. And in some part, I feel my dad's part of that.
A message that is still alive and well and timeless in the hands of these few and the heart of Salt Lake City. Alex Cabrero, KSL 5 News.
That is so